coins are down and Bitcoin is down. You can see here that meme coins are down, including some of the bigger ones like Dog with Hat. Bitcoin is down to $92,000. So, what is happening? Is the bull run over? Are we entered into a bearish market? Is that how we're really going to start off 2025? Well, let's look at this one chart to see what I mean. So the chart I'd like to talk about is this chart right here, the four phases of the crypto market. Now, why this chart is so important is because I believe that we are either in 2 or 3. There is a big dispute on where we are at. So what do I mean by this? The first stage of a crypto market, as you can see right here, is accumulation. And we've seen this, and I'll show you all this looking at the charts. But the first stage was accumulation, where there was small buying and there was tons of momentum building up. The second phase was markup, which is where we saw absolute gains, everything shot up. And then the third phase is distribution, where it has a pullback, recovers slightly, but then continues this higher low and lower low pattern until finally the fourth phase markdown. Now, this chart is important because we may be going into the distribution phase. The reason I say this is because the second phase, which was markup, well, we saw this earlier this year, not that long ago, around November, October time, is when we saw absolute face melting gains. No matter you bought Solana, bought Bitcoin, bought Ethereum, bought any of the top 3, top 5 coins, you were going to see profits. All these coins were taking off, and I'm sure you remember this, and it peaked. Bitcoin even hit $106,000. When we were at $80,000, we were just praying and hoping it could hit 100,000. Now it's at it hit $106,000, and then it's having a pullback. Now the thing is, with this pullback, distribution phase actually starts with a push to the upside. So there's a nice pullback and then it starts pushing to the upside, meaning many people are saying sell, sell, sell. While many others are saying, no, it's not the end of the bull market. You guys are just being scared. You need iron fists. And then once it has that pullback and starts pushing up, those who previously sold start to buy. Those who didn't sell say, ha, I was right. Until it has that pullback again, and then it starts to make its recovery again, but it never quite reaches the level that it was at before finally just crashing down and leveling off. So let's look at the chart to see what I mean by this. Okay, let's look at the Bitcoin chart to see what I mean by those 4 stages. So if we zoom all the way out, let's look at the 4 stages. So the first one was the accumulation stage. So that would be right back here. We were seeing some accumulation. Right here is some nice accumulation. So back in January 23 up to January 24, starting that new year. Now, in 2024, we saw that markup, starting with that markup, and then we kind of hit that accumulation phase again, where you could argue that this is actually the accumulation phase. It doesn't super matter, but let's go with this is the accumulation. So this is the accumulation phase from February to, where did it take off? November. From February to November, accumulation. People are buying, it's in kind of a range, and there's a descending channel, and they're saying that it's going to explode. And it does. In November, it exploded. Towards the beginning of November, it exploded up, which is the markup phase, correct? Well, look at this pullback. This pullback looks kind of familiar to the chart, does it not? So this might actually only be the first pullback, and we may see more face melting gains. Or this could be the top, and when it pulls back, we are going to see a nice recovery, but not all the way back to quite where it was, but a good portion, maybe back to $100,000. So we were pulled far back, go up to $100,000, and then go down and just keep repeating this process, but maybe not 100, maybe 90,000 this time, and then pull back 80,000 this time, and then just level off. So that is what one thing I'd like for you guys to think about. And although I know I threw around numbers like $190,000, those were not specific numbers. Those were just numbers to go off of because they were key mind levels that we all had and big blocks in our brain. For example, if they hit 100,000, many people think, okay, 6,000 isn't that far. We can keep this going. Point being, though, that every day you need to be looking at the charts. Well, there's actually someone that looks at the charts for you, and that's me. So by subscribing, you can subscribe. And if you subscribe, by subscribing, you are actually getting a daily update for free. And I look at the chart every day for you. Every single day, I get up, look at these charts, see what I'm seeing, and then I tell you guys for free, absolutely free. I tell you guys what I'm seeing so that you guys can stay informed. That being said, none of this video is financial advice. Do your own research and make sure that you know what you're trading and that know that cryptocurrency, trading crypto is very, very risky. So what have we seen in this video? We've seen that there are 4 phases: accumulation, which could be right here; markup, which could be this phase right here; markdown, which is when it makes a nice pullback but doesn't quite reach the same place it was; and then distribution. So we either are in the markdown phase headed towards more markdowns and then eventually distribution, or we are just starting the accumulation phase. Only time will tell.